Let's begin. Today's June 3rd, 2024, and we're solving the Daily Turing Machine Puzzle. Today's puzzle uses the following 6 criteria cards. Criteria card 2, 10, 13, 18, 21, and 22, and the puzzle uses the blue verification cards. The code above is your ticket to getting more information on today's puzzle by searching the code on turingmachine.info. Let's go solve. So in the grid above, we've got our 6 criteria cards. On the top row, we've got criteria card A, criteria card B, criteria card C, and in the bottom row, we've got criteria card D, criteria card E, and finally criteria card F. Criteria card A looks at our first digit, the triangle digit, and we'll be comparing it to the value 3. So should triangle be less than 3, should it be equal to 3, or should it be greater than 3? Criteria card B will look at our 3-digit solution, and the Turing machine will let us know how many of those digits should be 4. Should there be no 4s? A single 4? Perhaps 2? Maybe even all 3 can be 4. Criteria card C will look at the middle and last digit, our square and circle, and compare them. So should the square value be less than circle? Should they be equal? Or should the square value be greater than circle? Then criteria card D looks at our 3-digit solution, triangle, square, and circle, and the Turing machine will let us know that if you add up the 3 digits, the Turing machine will let us know whether the value of the sum should be an even quantity or an odd quantity. Next, criteria card E, again we're looking at our 3-digit solution, and the Turing machine will let us know a little bit about its structure, specifically whether there could be a pair of digits, a repeating digit, as in the example 131, or alternatively, there is no pair, and there could be 2 scenarios. One where all digits are different, distinct, as in the example 134, or the digit is the same, but yet it's a single digit repeated 3 times, as in the example 222. And finally, criteria card F will let us know a little bit about the ordering of our solution. Should the digits be sort of listed out in an ascending order, meaning they're increasing from triangle, square to circle, as in the example 135, or are they descending, basically getting smaller again from triangle, square to circle, as in the example 421, or could it be that it has no order? So look at the example 231. You see that it increases from 2 to 3, but then it decreases. It goes down from 3 to 1. So that shift from increasing to decreasing, or vice versa, it could be a decreasing then increasing. That shift from increasing to decreasing is one way to define that the solution has no order. And remember, the objective of today's puzzle is that we're supposed to find this unique 3-digit solution that abide by all of the 6 criteria cards we just discussed. Well, let's begin. We're going to start off with our initial proposal of 314. And the first thing I want to test is I want to see if there is a pair or not. So I'm going to test criteria card E. Okay, so the Turing machine approves of my proposal. Notice that my proposal of 314 has no pair. They're all distinct. So that's what I'm going to write down in my notes for section E, that there is not a pair. Okay, so again, what that basically means is that they're all distinct. All right, that said, let's test criteria card D and see what the sum of the 3 digits tell us. Well, again, the Turing machine does approve of the proposal 314. If I add up my digits, 3 plus 1 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8. The Turing machine is confirming that the sum of the 3 digits must be an even quantity. So let's go ahead and type that up in section D. That triangle plus square plus circle should be an even quantity. And so let's see what that might reveal. Well, remember, we have no pair, so they're all different. Yet our sum is total sum is an even quantity. So there could be a case where either they're all even, all three digits are even, or we could have two distinct, not paired up, but distinct odd digits and then an even. So those are the two possibilities that we're working with. And in the case where perhaps there's a single even, criteria card B may tell us whether it's a 4 or a 2. Now I do have a single 4 already in my proposal. So if I test that and I get a check mark, okay, fantastic. I know I have a single 4. But if I don't get the check, all that means is that well, let's see, we know that you can't have paired up evens, and technically, actually, you know what, I take that back, discussing, it must be the case where we have two odds and an even, because if they're not paired up, I can't have three evens. That's impossible. So that means that, yeah, either there is a 4 or there's a 2, and criteria card B will let us know. But that's a 50-50. So I think I can always, verify that in round 2. I think what would be helpful is trying to figure out what triangle might be, or ordering square and circle. So remember, we are dealing with now two odds and an even. So I've made that correction. So, and we don't know which is which. We haven't actually even crossed out anything yet. So I think since I do have a triangle of 3, it could be 3, but it could be one or the other. I think the best alternative is I'm going to test criteria card C and compare the middle and last digit. So let's do C. Okay, wow, so I got another check mark. Okay, so I'm wondering if the answer is 314. I don't know. But the fact that my square digit 1 is less than my circle digit 4 is what the Turing Machine has confirmed. So let me put that in section C, and that is again that square should indeed be less than circle. So square is less than circle. And this will allow us to cross out at least something. And since square needs to be less than circle, we know square cannot be a 5, because if it is to be, smaller compared to circle, what would circle be if square is 5? And similarly, circle cannot be a 1, because if it's supposed to be the biggest with respect to square, then what could square be? Can't be smaller than 1. Okay, well that does it for our first round. We've already done our 3 Turing tests and we got all checks. So we're going into the phase where we're going to discuss how to construct a good second round proposal. Okay, so, well, let's get the obvious out of the way. Could it be 314? Potentially, yeah, I guess. Triangle could be equal to 3. And so if it were 314, and again, that would mean that triangle would be 3, which of the following would square and circle? Because again, we need another odd and an even. That would be interesting. So it wouldn't be, I guess, square could not be 2. Okay, well, let's see. Yeah, so if square were 2, square couldn't be 2 because there is nothing smaller, or sorry, hold on, I'm seeing this the wrong way. Yeah, I guess square could be even 2 or 4 because there's always something bigger. for circle to be. And so if triangle is 3, then that would mean that circle would have to be 5 if indeed square were even. Yeah, and it would be, but but that's obviously 3, 2, 5. Is there anything else? 3, 4. Yeah, it couldn't, and yeah, so actually that would force, if again square is even, you couldn't have 3, 4. Or could you? Wait, 3, 4. Oh yeah, I guess you could have 3, 4, 5. Yeah. But that would be increasing. We have 1 even and 2 distinct odds. And again, we do have that 50-50 for 4. For criteria card B, and determining if it's a 4 or a 2. And so what would, let's pretend, yeah, okay, there's a 4. Where would it go? And of course, we still have to figure out the order. So there's a 4, and it's open to all of these. Yeah, I think maybe criteria card A would have been a good thing to test, but I was afraid that just having a 3 might not have been a good opportunity. So I think I'm going to switch it up, even though I do have 3 check marks. I would find it very interesting that it would be 3, 1, 4. Anything is possible. Again, how do we construct it so that A, B, and F yield us our unique solution? What could that be? How can we sort of force the issue? Let's see. It would be interesting, even though square is less than circle. Well, let's see. So I guess, is it even possible to have descending? It can't be descending because, again, we know square has to be less than, and descending would force square to be larger than circle, and that's not the case. Okay, so at least we can dismiss that it would be descending. Ascending, yeah, that makes sense, because again, we know square is less than circle, so I guess you could have some ascending options, or otherwise there's no order. But nothing is really jumping out at me to construct this second round proposal. What could happen? I guess somehow maybe if triangle were less than 3, let's see, how would criteria A and B interact if somehow maybe triangle were the even? Because it's almost like an either or maybe that's not the right way to say it, but triangle less than 3 and there's a 2. Oh, okay, sure, but it's not that it's necessarily even. Wow. Let's see. Well, I think I'm just going to have to give something a try. So what about something like 1, 4, 1, 4, 3? Is that possible? Oh, well, again, it's got to be square is less than circle. So, okay, so maybe not that then. How about 5, 2, 3? Because, again, we can't have any pairs. So let me go with 5, 2, 3 and see what happens. Okay, so let's try criteria card A and see what we get. No, okay, so bad call. So the only thing we can say for sure is that the Turing machine does not agree that my triangle value should be greater than 3. So it's either less than 3 or equal to 3. So let me go ahead and type that up. So triangle should be either less than or equal to 3. So that means that triangle cannot be 4 or 5. So cannot be 4 and cannot be 5. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, got to be equal or less than. Okay, well that's limiting some possibilities. Let's see. Okay, I think if I were to test criteria card F, because we already established that it can't be descending, if I can say, there's no order, if I can eliminate either increasing or no order, that may be very helpful, and maybe we could deduce what criteria card B might be. So let's go ahead and test criteria card F. Okay, so in this case it does agree with the proposal, and notice that in my case I have no order. So I went from 5 down to 2, but then it increased to 3. So that is no order. Okay. So no order, which means that I think we can eliminate triangle with 1, because that would mean that based on criteria card C, after 1, they'd have to be continuing to increase. So I think I can cross out 1, and let's see, can we cross out anything else? So if I cross out 1, okay, I guess I could always go 2, 1, and something, so I think that's okay. Same thing with 3. What about, could I cross out 4 for square? That is interesting. Can I cross out 4? Well, at this point it's either 2 or 3, and yeah, I think I can cross out 4, because of the 2 remaining values for triangle, both are less than 4, and so that would force circle to be 5. So you can't have 2, 4, 5 or 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I think we can cross out square. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't. Well, no, yeah, because there's no way you could have circle be smaller. Yeah, so I think we can cross out 4. That's very interesting how that's worked out. What about here? Let's see. Yeah, we don't cross. Yeah, okay. So what about now 2? Well, I could have 3 and then it gets smaller and then bigger. So that's okay. What about 2? Well, yeah, 2 can then go down smaller. 2 or 3, we can't have 4 because that, okay. Yeah, so I guess in these cases, let's see, can I cross out? Yeah, I can't cross out 2, I don't think, for triangle. I'm still very, I don't know, did I make the right call by crossing out the 4? I think so. Yeah, we can't have that option. 2 to 4, that forces it to 5. 3 to 4, yeah, so that doesn't work. Yeah, but now here, this will force to get smaller. So 3 will could force square to be 2 or 1, and then increase and pivot. Yeah, so I think that's good. What about, can we cross out 3 for square? Well, if it's 3, then yeah. And wow, can we also cross out 3? if we don't cross it out, if it's 3, it has to go down to 1 or 2. So I'm ignoring the 3. And if it's not 3, it's 2, and then again, you couldn't do 2, 3. Wow, you're crossing out 3 as well. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen something like that, or maybe I've never thought about it. Okay, so we have one last 4 now, and I guess that's still viable. So that's interesting. Is there a 2 or a 4? So if there is a 4, somehow, well, let's say, okay, let's do that. Let's pretend it's a 4, and it's right here. How do we get to it? Well, we can get to it by doing 2, 1, 4, and I think that's the only case for 2. Oh, but we can't have another even. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so then that would make it be 3, 1, 4. Okay, so that's the only case where it's a 4, 3, 1, 4. We need to have our 2 odds. Okay, so let me actually jot that down. So I'm saying that 3, 1, 4 is the only possibility for 3. 3, 1, 4. Okay, and if it's not a 4, it must be a 2, and we can't have a duplicate, so it would be 2, 1, but then which one would you choose, 3 or 5? So I think that's wow, that is our answer. I think it's 3, 1, 4. Oh, I should have stuck with it. Oh man. Okay, so I think what I'm saying is I'm deducing that there is a 4, which would force it to be that based on what I've crossed out, assuming that's all good. Okay, and again, I'd be deducing that, triangle would be 3, and there is a 4, and there can't be a 2, so yeah, it looks like it's 3, 1, 4. Oh, wow. All right, so yeah, I'm deducing that triangle is 3, there is a 4, obviously 1 is less than 4, so square is less than circle. The sum is even, there are no pairs, and there's no order. Okay, well, I think it's 3, 1, 4. Let's go check. That will be interesting. So let's verify, or test the code and verify 3, 1, 4. Let's take a look. It is very interesting, 3, 1, 4. Okay, so luckily we were able to deduce, I guess, well, we didn't even test criteria card B. So let's do this. We did C, D, E, we skipped B, and A was the only incorrect one. So C, D, E, and then A, F. So let's go verify. Or let's go check the Turing machine. So C, D, E were all correct. A was incorrect. Skip B, and we tested F. Okay, so we beat the Turing machine by 1 question, and I'm just a bit torn, had 3 checks, and I thought, oh, it's too good to be true. Can't be 3, 1, 4. But at the end of the day, it was. Well, what do you think? Do you have any comments that you'd like to share? Put them in the comment section. I'd like to hear from you. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you don't want to miss out on any future videos, please hit subscribe and you'll be notified. Well, until next time, have a great one.